getting land, oil rights, whatever we had. They took it away because we had a president that maybe wasn't watching, but they're not going to do that. We want it back. They took our oil rights. We had a lot of oil there. As you know, they threw our companies out, and we want it back. Well, I think the message this evening is we inherited a mess, and we've done a great job, and we continue to, and our country is going to be stronger than ever before very soon.
U.S. President Donald Trump is in the mood for some high-voltage action. The stage is set in the Caribbean as POTUS ratchets up pressure on Venezuela, leaving the Maduro regime to almost collapse because this time, Trump hit the nail on the head, targeting Venezuela's main source of income. On December 17th, President Donald Trump announced that he is directing a total and complete blockade on all sanctioned oil tankers headed to or leaving Venezuela, intensifying pressure on authoritarian leader Nicolas Maduro in a move aimed at placing a tighter chokehold on the South American nation's economy. Trump didn't stop there. He designated Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro's government as a foreign terrorist organization for the alleged theft of U.S. assets, terrorism, drug smuggling, and human trafficking. Announcing the blockade, Trump vowed a military buildup until Caracas returns the oil, land, and assets stolen from the U.S., though it was not clear why he felt the U.S. had a claim. As soon as the announcement came, oil prices jumped over 1% in Asian trade, with Brent at $59.62 and U.S. crude near $56 a barrel. U.S. crude rebounded from December 16th's $55.27 close, its lowest since February 2021. Traders said gains reflect expectations of reduced Venezuelan exports, though uncertainty remains over how broadly the blockade will be enforced. Trump's move follows the U.S. seizure of a Venezuelan oil tanker on December 10th, deepening pressure on Caracas as exports plunged, worsened by a cyber attack that disrupted state-run PDVSA systems. With the naval blockade of sanctioned Venezuelan oil tankers, did Trump push U.S.-Venezuela tensions to a breaking point? The answer is actually yes. U.S. presidents have wide latitude to deploy forces overseas, but international law scholar Elena Chachko of UC Berkeley said Trump's proposed blockade tests the limits of presidential authority. She noted blockades are traditionally instruments of war and raise serious domestic and international legal questions. Texas Democrat Representative Joaquin Castro called the move unquestionably an act of war that Congress never approved and Americans do not want. Lambasting Trump's threats, Venezuela's government said that Trump was violating international law, free trade, and the principle of free navigation, and called the move a reckless and serious threat to the South American nation. The Caracas statement said Maduro's government intends to raise the issue before the United Nations. Maduro waged a full war against Trump and urged oil workers to lead a global protest defending Venezuelan oil and dismissed U.S. drug trafficking claims as fake news. He further accused imperialist forces of trying to seize Venezuela's natural resources while vowing to defend the nation and uphold peace.
Now, the dedicated and organized oil working class, acting decisively through this vital international constituent commission, must urgently proceed to actively and robustly defend the fundamental and undeniable right to free and unhindered trade of Venezuela's most crucial and primary export product, which is, of course, its invaluable oil, ensuring its continued economic stability and sovereignty. In all international settings, in multilateral organizations, From union organizations to talking with ship owners at all the ports in the world to prepare a massive protest of oil workers, gas workers, and merchant marine workers against the piracy of the United States government, which seeks to once again impose privateering on the world. A great worldwide protest. Ongoing, not just for one day. And to prepare the defense of the freedom of trade for Venezuela and the entire world. Because the defense of freedom of trade and the peace of the Caribbean and Venezuela is the defense of freedom of trade and peace for the entire world. Not even a greeting. We tell the people of the United States our truth, and the aggressive Nazi-fascist right wing what they want is to colonize Venezuela, to seize the immense and valuable wealth we possess in our abundant natural resources, including vast reserves of crude oil, extensive deposits of natural gas, precious quantities of gold, significant iron ore, valuable aluminum, and a multitude of other essential and strategic minerals. And we have an absolute oath, to valiantly protect our cherished homeland. And that in Venezuela, peace, stability, and the shared happiness of our people always prevail. To the people of the United States, we say 1,000 times over. 1,000 times over? Absolutely no blood for oil. Not now, not ever, not in any circumstance. No more war for oil, ever again. That entire drug trafficking accusation is completely fake news, an absolute fabrication, merely a baseless pretext. Since they absolutely cannot claim that we possess a weapon of mass destruction, since they are unable to assert we have chemical weapons or even nuclear missiles, they meticulously invent a baseless pretext to create yet another Afghanistan, a tragic and devastating conflict, to create another Libya. And we have moral authority. And with the blessing of divine God, all-powerful Father, I solemnly say, no more devastating Vietnam, no more protracted Afghanistan, no more Libya, no more Iraq, no more endless war. Absolutely no, emphatically no, no and no.
Is Trump's move a cover-up amid growing scrutiny over Hegseth withholding the Venezuela boat strikes video? The answer could be yes or no. It's not clear. However, if you follow the chronology, Trump's announcement came just after his war secretary briefed the Senate about Venezuelan boat strikes. Defying the senators, he refused to release the unedited top-secret video of U.S. strikes on Venezuelan boats on September 2nd, which drew significant criticism.
It is the 22nd bipartisan briefing we've had on a highly successful mission to counter designated terrorist organizations, cartels, bringing weapons meaning drugs, to the American people and poisoning the American people for far too long. So we're proud of what we're doing, able to lay it out very directly to these senators and soon to the House. But it's all classified. We can't talk about it now. We're also going to tomorrow allow the HASC and SASC to see the unedited video of the September 2nd, alongside with Admiral Bradley, who has done a fantastic job, has made all the right calls, and we're glad he'll be there to do it. But in keeping with long-standing Department of War policy, Department of Defense policy, of course, we're not going to release a top-secret, full, unedited video of that to the general public. HASC and SASC and appropriate committees will see it, but not the general.
Trump's announcement came after the United States seized a sanctioned oil tanker off the Venezuelan coast on December 10th. The confiscation marked the first time a Venezuelan oil shipment has been seized under the U.S. sanctions imposed in 2019. A 45-second unclassified clip showed two helicopters closing in on a ship while armed, camouflage-clad personnel rappelled down onto the vessel. After pulling the Pirates of the Caribbean move, Trump has now waged a war against Maduro in the literal sense. Now, U.S. boots could land on Venezuelan soil at any time because, since August, the U.S. has started massive troop mobilization in the Caribbean, with the largest warships, B-2 bombers, and a nuclear aircraft carrier.